All right, we're back. This is the second installment of the Guilt series videos, going over the tools, and we're going to be going over the Scale Engineering HO wheel press. This is the wheel press. Some of you bought it, some of you didn't. These are still in stock if you don't have one and you want one. And we're going to do a quick video. We're going to press on some wheels so everybody sees how they function. Let's get started. Okay. Here's our brushes. Now we're working with original brushes. These original brushes, they get very oily, very dirty. We wash these, but just take them and drag them across a piece of paper, both sides. Actually, I want to put my rear axle in next, don't I? But I'm going to clean both of these, just like that. And that way, when we go back together, we'll have good continuity. And all right, so we're ready. Gear plate is set, and that's really the bulk of your work right here, is getting your gear plate back together. The next step is going to be your rear axle. And remember, you always press to the back of the axle, to the back of the axle. So I'm going to come in, passenger side, and you're going to love the tool I use for this. Okay, and then just make sure that it starts in there, okay? And it doesn't take too much. And I'm simply going to put this onto a flat surface. And I'm kind of looking in there to make sure that the axle is going to come through the hole. Make sure it's going to line up. And there it is. Now, on other builds where you're putting oversized axles through and stuff, you're going to want to use the press to do it. But on this, not necessary. So we've got that guy in. Now we can get back to putting our brushes in. And remember, drag them across a piece of paper, or really super fine sandpaper works as well. I don't know the orientation of these magnets, so they're both black. So we're just going to put it together and see which direction it rotates. All right, our assembled gear plate. We're going to snap that right in there. Our cleaned clamp. All right. Everything turns freely. Feels good. Feels real good. And then, you know what? Let's put the wheels on before we put the pickup shoes on. So we're going to go back to the wheels. Now, once again, because it's stock TJet, you can pretty much just push them on. And your wheel press will work on this. Oop, and see, now we got a little bit of an issue here because one wheel's tighter than the other. So we might end up going to the wheel press here. Let's do it. Where's our wheel press? Right here, right? Okay, so what I'm going to do, your wheel press will come with, I thought I brought one. Here we go. Your wheel press will come with this large diameter anvil. It's got no hole in it. We're going to put that in there. And what I want to do is I want to use this pin. I like where this wheel is versus this wheel, and we're just going to push them in opposite of each other. And so we're going to put that. Make sure it's pressing straight. Make sure it's pressing straight. And we're going to press that on just a little bit. And I'm going to keep doing this till I get them equal distance apart. Because what you're doing is you're pressing this axle and wheel through this one. Make sure you're pressing straight because it's easy to get it crooked. There we go. Okay, we're going to press this a little bit more. There, I like that. So we've got equal distance on each side. There we go. That feels good. Now, if you're doing a performance build, we would spend a lot more time on this crown gear, but we're not doing that right now. So let's go ahead and do our front axle. No, we're doing a Charger. So we can kind of cheat here. We're doing a Charger. So it's long wheelbase. So make sure you put it in the long wheelbase hole. And then, oh, and I wanted to remind you, once again, these scale engineering ones, you can change the drivers out. So you can take your, oh, here's your press. This one right here, with the hole in the end of it, you can use that to press, or you can use this pin. Now we use the pin, but you can use the other one, and they're interchangeable, and I change them all the time. And I actually intermix tools quite a bit. And I was hoping to bring my little piece of tubing, and I forgot it. I made a small piece of tubing that will go over the axle and over this pin, and then that helps to guide it. And but we're gonna, because I don't want to unbag that tool, because technically that is somebody's. And all the tools are going out today, so we're gonna do the same thing we did over there. We're gonna go and we're gonna use the driver, and we're gonna press nice and smooth on this. And that's pretty much where I want that one. So let's reverse this. Now, if it would have been fun to run this car and then do this rebuild and then see how much it changed, you know. So we've got a little bit of play right there. I'm looking at the distance from the hole. It's pretty much the same. So I think I'm going to leave that. I'm going to leave that since this is just a rebuild. So that was our pressing. I think we're ready for shoes. I only see one spring. Did one spring get away? One of our springs is, there it is, found it. It was hiding. I used to be so much better at this. Not being able to see, it just changes stuff. There we go. All right, stand your spring up in there. Take the hook of your shoe, and I just slide it right in behind the spring. There we go, and we're ready. Come here. The worst part is you go to grab that and you pinch that spring and it comes out. Oh my goodness. The trajectory of them is just crazy. All right. There's our shoes. They're in place. We're getting there. And those tires come out so clean in that ultrasonic cleaner. They're all soft and ready to go again. And we're just going to pop them tires back on there. Now, okay, anyone want to bet whether it runs or not? We didn't test to see if it ran before, so we'll see. Uh-oh. You hear it? I think it needs a little bit of brush work.
My battery's probably dead too.
Oh, it could be. You can hear it. You can see it. There it goes. All right, and then before we give up, this is 60-40 original oil and Marvel mystery oil, and I'm going to give it a little bit of drops here and there. Not a bunch, just a little bit. I like this for the stock rebuilds because it doesn't evaporate. It doesn't go away. And so the car stays lubricated. And I like that. This one's getting pretty low. I'm going to have to make a new one. A paintbrush, a little fine paintbrush works real good too. And don't be afraid to put some on there. And then right inside of here on your drive gear is another good spot. And then ever so slight amount right there. And let's see what it sounds like now with our battery. Can you hear the difference? That's pretty fun. So that is a stock rebuild right there. That's a taking it apart, putting it back together. And just to be honest, guys, just do it. Just get in there, take some stuff apart, break some stuff, and then let's go ahead and put our body back on, because then this one's ready to go back in the case. It's done having cake all over it for months, and it can go back in the display. Where's my Buzzarama? And so much of this is just do it. So much of it is just experiment. And there she is. She's ready to go. Now all these tools went out, and then I wanted to go over something real quick here. You know, we made this shim stock, and this is the 06. You can do it in different sizes. You got to narrow it slightly, make a nice cut right there. This is another tool that Doug had made for prying the stock TJet wheels away from the chassis so that you can get a puller in behind them. And I thought, this is a genius little tool. And that's the kind of thing a guy can make. You can just sit down with a cut-off wheel and a little bit of a grinding, a sander. This is another, when we used to do, I wouldn't put it together, no. When we used to do peeners with ball BBs that would peen across, I made this little thing here, and that slides in there when that axle's out of there, so that you're not mashing the two sides together. So it's little things like that you can build on your own. This is a piece of tubing that I cut off, and it was for pressing on hot rod hubs right there from the outside. So if you had the hot rod hubs with the tri-bar spinner on them, the early ones, you could press this on, use that in your wheel press kit right here. You could use it in that dude right there. And that worked really good. And so that's just some ideas of different tools that you can make on your own. And then, what was that, another one you wanted to show?
Nope.
Oh, you're giving that to hold that shaft up. And so that is our reassembly. It's a fun thing to do. Don't be afraid to do it. If you got any questions, shoot me a message. Other than that, just do it. And the more you do it, the faster you'll get. And the more fun you'll have. And then later on, we'll start working on improving performance and working towards actually building race chassis. But right now, it's just a matter of taking them apart, cleaning them up, and putting them back together, and having something that's fun to work with. All right, guys. Thanks for stopping in. Slot on.